one of those universal laws, which is why Jesus had to come here in human form. So America, a lot of people don't know, it was actually divinely discovered by Christopher Columbus. It was originally an anagram for the I am race. America, the word America is an anagram for I am race. This race was to be comprised of all races, all religions, all creeds, all cultures, all nationalities, living together in equality, harmony, freedom, mutual respect, and reverence for all life, one nation, the family of humanity, under God, with liberty, justice, abundance, happiness, and freedom for all. But things got messed up. But that was the original intent. America was going to be the light of the world. When the company of heaven saw how the divine intent of the new world was being distorted by our human egos, they knew that humanity needed to clearly see what would occur if we did not take advantage of our 500-year period of grace and change our course of direction. A man in France responded to the need of the hour and offered to communicate to humanity the vision of the path we were choosing to follow. Anybody know who that was?
What's his face? Such a lovely guy.
The man in France. Thus did Nostradamus transcribe his divinely inspired vision of the Holocaust humanity would experience if we did not heed the warning and change the course of our direction. We were in our 500-year grace period. Somebody had to tell people, this is it. If you don't do something different, I can't help you. Our Father, Mother, God did not believe we would be able to get our heads above the veil of human miscreation effectively enough to transmute the effects of the fall in time for the cosmic in-breath, the time when all the other planets were going to go to the fifth dimension. And we would, again, it would have been failed. We wouldn't have made it. So again, they invoked assistance from the universe. This time, cosmic and ascended beings from octaves of perfection throughout infinity responded to our godparents' heart call and asked for permission to embody on Earth. Cosmic law has never allowed them to embody on Earth en masse before. There was always one person who could do that. This time, they said, okay, we need so much help. We're going to let so many of you light workers embody on Earth to help this planet. Because this is your last chance. The divine intent for these illumined ones to embody on Earth as normal human beings. So to the amazement and the joy of the entire company of heaven, this experiment succeeded beyond the greatest expectations of everyone involved. The tremendous influx of illumined souls has caused a population explosion that looks, from outer appearances, to be causing a great deal of stress on the planet. But I promise you, this illusion is temporary. We are now reaching the culmination of our 500-year period of grace that began 500 years ago. It is imperative that, I want to skip some parts. Okay, so now let me tell you about the time warp that everybody is well aware of, and they just didn't know what was really happening. Starting in 1989, a unique phenomenon occurred known as time warp. Time warp is a dimensional collapsing of time in which the Earth shifted into an accelerated time flow in preparation for moving into the higher timeless frequencies of the fifth dimension. We had to start getting ready. That fifth dimension is timeless. There is no time, there is no space. So they actually started collapsing time. This shift actually accelerated our time frequency from a 24-hour day to a 22-hour day. Since that event, time has collapsed even further and accelerated into an 18 to 20-hour day. All frequency impulses increase simultaneously, including our clocks. So from outer appearances, it looks like we still have a 24-hour day, but we don't. It's probably 16 hours at this point. The collapsing of time has greatly accelerated the transformation occurring on Earth, and as a result, humanity's negative behavior patterns are being pushed to the surface at an increased pace. From outer appearances, it looks like things are actually getting worse, but nothing could be further from the truth. The cosmic in-breath at the moment of the solar eclipse on July 11th, 1991, brought the greatest realignment of Earth's axis yet known. This quickened her core vibration, accelerating humanity toward Christ consciousness, straightening her axis back up. During the 7 minutes of perfect alignment of the solar eclipse, all of the pressures of imbalance, discord, and karma were temporarily lifted from every cell, atom, electron, and subatomic particle on the physical realm of Earth. This transmuted into fourth dimensional frequencies of perfection 50% of all of the energy that has ever been misqualified on Earth. So from the whole history of Earth's existence, 50% of all that negative karmic energy was transmuted just like that in 1991. We lost half of our baggage in the Earth's axis straightened back up. This negative energy had interpenetrated our beings at a cellular level for eons of time, holding sway over our atomic vehicles. This is why disease and distress seem so prevalent in our human experience. With this purification, a realignment and rebalancing occurred at a deep atomic level. The solar healing of our godparents profoundly affected the living cells of humanity and the nature kingdom, as well as the molecules, atoms, electrons, and subatomic particles of all of life within Earth's realms. This accelerated the physics, chemistry, and biology of life on Earth closer to fourth and fifth dimensional consciousness by getting rid of half of that baggage. In other words, this transmutation of negativity scientifically assured the ascension of this planet here and now. This was in 1991. The effects of this cause allowed each of us to move more quickly, rediscover our own divine plans, free from one half of the old baggage from our past. This opportunity ended all separateness permanently. The separateness we experienced where we lost that crown chakra and we had no more communication, this ended that separation permanently, getting rid of half of that baggage, just like it did for the Earth. When the Earth tilted on its axis, it also lost its connection. Straightening back up, realigned it. That was in 1991. On January 11th, 11/11/1992, is when we completed our ascension through the doorway of the 1111 onto our correct position on the spiral, back onto the spiral of evolution. This was our initial impulse into the fourth dimension, starting in 1992. There were many impulses. This was the first one. This completed the shifting of humanity into a frequency of light beyond what the force of cosmic evil could access, and it accelerated the crystal grid system into a frequency far beyond the reach of cosmic evil's magnetic grid. It looked as though, after being held hostage for millions of years by the sinister force, that 2012 would bring about a major influx of light that would pour into the Earth to assist our progress, because we were on this path now. After the fall, once again, we lost the ability to commune with the elementals of nature and the angels because we were buried in darkness. We perceived the nature kingdom to be void of intelligence. Consequently, the lower human ego obsessively abused the elements of Earth for its personal gain. This brought us to the brink of self-destruction. The degenerating plight of humanity and the abominable pollution of Mother Earth clearly reflect the war that has been going on between humanity and the elements. There is no way that we can transform physical matter without the cooperation of the elemental kingdom. That is our planet. So our primary goal was to heal the battle going on between the nature kingdom and humanity if we were going to regain our original path and restore the physical plane to heaven on Earth. Since the human ego is very manipulative, it had to actually bring the Earth to the brink of dissolution in order to get our attention. Only after our air was polluted, our water putrefied, our Earth plagued with global warming, ozone depletion, floods, famines, deforestation, animal extinction, toxic waste, pesticides, overpopulation, poverty, bizarre weather conditions, disease, aging, and death, did we finally say, wait a minute, I think something is wrong here. Our awareness that the outrageous behavior of our obsessive, greedy human egos have brought the earth and all her life to the threshold of extinction ultimately shocked us sufficiently to motivate us into action. The people already aligned with the environment began to redouble their efforts. In 1992, and I'm not going to do every year, by the way, I'm only going up to 95, and then I'll jump right up to today. In 1992, there were several accelerations of vibration. But see, back in the early 90s at this time, this was when so much of this work was being accomplished. And I'll get to the reason why we're not aware of it yet. But in 1992, there were several accelerations of vibration on the planet that further prepared us for our ascension into timelessness, or the fifth dimension. And by the way, the fifth dimension is heaven, if you didn't know that. What we call heaven is the fifth dimension, but there's also infinite dimensions beyond that. But that's our goal on Earth, to get to heaven, which is the fifth dimension. In addition to the long-awaited healing of the separation between our physical bodies and our holy Christ selves, we also experienced the opposite extreme, which was the incredible clearing and purging of our past, the fun part. Any areas of our lives that were not enhancing our forward progress were pushed to the surface for purification. Just like when you detox, right? That's the fun part, right? No. You detox to get rid of all that toxic crap so that you can be light and clean and young and, you know, reverse aging and all that. You have to push all that garbage to the surface to get to that place. Same thing with our baggage in lifetimes. From outer appearances, it seemed as though financial problems became worse. Relationships deteriorated. Jobs were more unbearable. Our behavior was more obsessive. Compulsive addictions increased. Diseases intensified. Grief deepened. Anxiety heightened. Low self-esteem was magnified. Nerves were shattered. Fear mounted. And a general sense of panic gripped our solar plexus. If we were able to hold the purging in perspective, we moved through the process fairly unscathed. Fortunately, this intense clearing was fairly short-lived. In that short span of time, we were given the ability to transmute hundreds of lifetimes worth of negativity in the twinkling of an eye. That is where that expression comes from. This was in 1992. And this happens a lot of times when you're sleeping, just so you know. This purging was necessary in order for the earth and all life upon her to be ready for the next cosmic push. That is why even eating this food, we're going to get to that, is so important. You have to clean that stuff out. It has its own vibration, frequency, density. You know, food is a lot to do with holding yourself back. Through the unified cup of our consciousness, we created a bridge of light that was formed over the abyss, separating the RNA-DNA patterns in our 4 lower bodies from the divine RNA-DNA patterns of our Holy Christ self. So we actually created this bridge of light, bridging that. This abyss is what had prevented our Holy Christ selves from integrating into the actual cellular structures of our physical bodies. It was a short circuit that blocked the rejuvenating, transforming light of our Holy Christ cells from reaching the cells and organs of our physical bodies. That is why our bodies run out of energy and disintegrate and die, because we are not connected to the divine DNA. Which is what they said when Eve and Adam ate from the tree. That's when they started to die. They took away that constant rejuvenating energy. This reconnection of circuitry actually means that we are now, at long last, physically reconnected to our Holy Christ selves and our divine RNA-DNA patterns of limitless physical perfection. Even though we are not exactly showing it all the way, it has been done on higher levels. And I'll get into, again, why we can't exactly see it yet